Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Devil May Cry 5 Dante Must Die S-Rank video walkthrough. This is mission 15 with Nero. And we have a pretty interesting mission coming up. This is the second time recording this because the first recording failed, so I have a bit of insight into what's gonna happen, what's gonna say, so no surprises here. Anyway, as you can see, I picked a pretty generic starting Buster Arm selection, which is fine. It's enough to get you through these first few fights in these missions because this mission has a lot of divinity statues. So abuse your arms as much as possible. Take all the most broken, busted arms you can, and just wail on every enemy in the fighting arenas because you need the points in this mission. The boss fight will get you a lot of points if you do it well. And I actually do pretty well in this boss fight come up. In fact, I don't think I take damage. Maybe I take a scrape. Actually, no, I do. I take some damage, but it was in Devil Trigger, so it did knock me out of it. But we'll get to that when we get there. Now, what I want to do is use my taunt to get as close to the Baphomet as possible. Because what's going to happen is the Baphomet's going to spawn, and the two nobodies are going to spawn, and then the Antenor is going to spawn. And my recommendation is kill this guy as fast as possible. Use every damage and move in the book, because this guy, you don't want this guy summoning nice pillars, and then while no two nobodies are on you. And this first fight, in this path that we took, because there's two paths, and I chose this one because I thought it might be a bit more difficult, because you get more fights in it. Is going to build you a lot of style points. If you can get this fight done well, you set yourself up to do very well later on in the mission. In fact, I would say this is my best fight of the mission, apart from the boss fight, because I keep that SSS up and I don't drop it very much. I drop it once because of an Antenor, and let that be a warning: kill the Antenors. Don't mess around with them. Don't keep them alive. Don't think you can build points off them. They will stop you. They will kill your points. They will kill your stylish rating. But as you can see, I'm mixing up all sorts of arms here. And I did say I would try not to use the divinity statues as much as humanly possible, and I have. I think I've done pretty well. But this is a near 20-minute mission. And if you want to build a great S rank, you need to use the arms. In fact, you'll see, even abusing all these arms, I still only end up, I think, at the end of the mission with 5,600 stylish points. So this mission, if you don't abuse the arms, will be insanely tough. And I got knocked out of this shit. I'm sure I could have done it with a combination of ragtime and the dance, of course, but I feel like I'm using the dance quite a lot, and I kind of wanted to stop relying on it as much. And don't get me wrong, I think the strategies I showed in which you can use the dance to cheese the style system are going to come in really handy for people. And I think even if, you're starting off, or you're brand new, or you're advanced, I think it can help everybody, that tip. Use the dance more, because the dance will build style so fast. This is a mistake. Do not grab this guy on the ground. But I got away with it scot-free. But this fight's been going pretty well for a Nero fight that I haven't played Nero in a while. Because as you know, the last few missions have been Dante focused a lot, apart from the 3 warrior mission on mission 13. And even then, I would say this is because I recorded this a few days after, and I had a lot of attempts in the Dante missions because the Dante missions can be pretty tough. And coming back and playing Nero was an experience, definitely. Because I was not hitting exceeds. I'm on 144 Hz now, so I'm not hitting them as easy as I used to on a 60 Hz. Because I'm not used to it. I don't know if it affects it anyway, but it certainly feels like it does. Probably just a placebo though. Now, what you want for coming up here is you want a ragtime and a Buster Arm. The reason why you want these is because you're forced to fight at least one Fury, in my opinion. Now, I'm sure there's people who say you could pop a ragtime and run right past them. Which, in my opinion, if you want to give that a try and it works for you, do it. Because fighting this Fury is not recommended to me. I don't recommend it by me at all. You can take the lower path, but I wouldn't recommend it either because that's a guaranteed Fury fight. And that one's much harder to get to. So come over here, charge ragtime. Now, don't do what I do. So let this guy get fully out of the ground. See right now, he's still spawning in. So I don't get the stun. And I thought he was coming out there. No, the activation didn't stun me. So I need one charge at least to knock him into the air. Charge the Buster Arm, lock on. Launch him into the air and then grab him. And there we are. This Fury will die instantly. There we are. I know people, I know you lose a lot of style. Like watching I lose 600 style points, yep, from doing that. But fuck Furies. They're an interesting enemy, but they will hurt your style rating so bad. Anyway, 2 Battlefield mats in this room, and I'm going to show you a route where you just skip the next Fury fight altogether. Because fighting Furies kills rank. And I think they're a fun enemy for the most part. But I think the majority of people don't like them, and I can definitely see why most people do not like them, because they force you to slow down and fight in a very specific way. They're kind of like the Blitz off Devil May Cry 4, where everything has to be put on hold to fight this one specific enemy. Or the, what would you call it, the Marauder in Doom Eternal, you could even say. You're forced to slow the gameplay down and just wait on this guy attacking, and I know this might be a sacrilegious opinion, but I don't like the Marauder in Doom Eternal. In fact, I didn't, I enjoy Doom Eternal, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know, I've never been like I enjoy both Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, but I don't think they're I don't think they're for me primarily. I did 100%. Actually, no, I didn't 100% Doom Eternal because that nightmare mode. Fuck that. I am not a fan of a save state of what would you call permadeath things. But anyway, moving on. As you can see, we skipped that Fury fight by the way by picking that direct route, because if you pick the other route, you will go down and you'll drop right beside a Fury, and you have to fight him because he'll spawn in and you won't be able to like bash through those blood trees in time. Blood cages, blood trees, whatever you want to call them. Blood's everywhere in this game. So, into this room, a lot of hillbots spawn. But this is good, because if you Delve Trigger, you can grab 2 of them at once, and the rank you will build is insane. You will build an S rank very, very, very quickly. But they can be a bit dangerous, so try and keep them off screen, you know, do all the stuff you want. And I would say, in your back pocket, have an Overture charged right now. Because 2 red bots are going to show up. Stick it on him. And you want to keep track of when you stuck it to. And then what you want to do is rag time. Overcharge it and break it. And then grab the bot that you stuck that to, and you will kill this guy. Because you need to kill at least one of them very quick, because 2 of them spell trouble. And I think I just managed to kill him here, and it works out pretty well because all the bots crowd around him, and they die. Which is very handy for me, because now I only have to focus on one hellbot. Although this does hurt your stash rating slightly, because you don't get to fight the enemies. I would still say it's worth it, because you don't need a perfect performance or 7,000 stash points to S rank the mission. All you need is over 5,000. I feel like that's an easy enough number to achieve, so you can afford to skip some enemies in some missions. Like right now, you can afford to skip these types of enemies, and this actually works out pretty well for me as well. Somehow I don't get hit there. I was very surprised. So he's dying. Actually no, I knock him into his enemies. He's dying now, and 3 of them are beside him. I kills them 3. So I'm just getting lucky on this fight, which is great. I am not going to argue one bit, because the other recordings out of this was the 3rd recording. I got nowhere near as lucky as this. But now time for the slogfest, because this is a double Queen and Pusa fight, and they both get empowered because there's blood pools on the ground, and they both Devil Trigger quite early. So prepare yourself for one of the longest fucking fights in the game with 2 regular enemies. And Rawhide there, you can pull him with Rawhide, which is great, but in fact I think you can maybe even stun stagger him. I can't keep him in a stagger instead if you keep pulling him. I've never actually tried it myself. But if anyone wants to give that a try and let me know, then I'll be appreciative of it. Maybe I'll test it myself. But Virgil does release in a few days, so I'm hoping to get this guide finished up. I know I've been a bit delayed in making videos. This has been a long time coming. At the time of this recording, I have 5 missions left, 2 of which are actually no, I've got 5 left to record. And I think I've beat Urzen. I have 8. I've only got 3 missions left to do, so 3 basically boss fight missions, and that's it. So I'm not anticipating a hard time getting this guide out in time. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll try and make 2 to 3 videos a day. In fact, 3 videos, because that would finish me off in the deadline, and then I can start my Virgil guide on the day he comes out, which would be interesting. And I've seen gameplay of Virgil. I know I don't care about this. Oh, don't spoil yourself and all like that. But I'm not super fucking invested in playing this game again with Virgil. I'm doing it because I think I could make good content on it and make good guides for it. But I'm excited. Do not get me wrong. I'm excited to jump back in and see what Virgil's like. But they really screwed us over by making us have to wait another month for a DLC character to sell their fucking PlayStation 5 and Xboxes and stuff like that. It's just not, I don't think it's on. I don't think it's fair at all. Because I mean, like, if you want a Virgil guide, you've got a fucking Virgil guide already. You could PC players in terms of a walkthrough cannot compete with PS5 or Xbox, what S1 XS or whatever you call the Xbox one, the new one. You can't really compete because it's already been out there for a full month now. So what do you do? But I think right now, I think I can work some stuff out with Virgil. You know what I mean? I think maybe I can find some stuff to do. But from what I've seen, Virgil's an extremely powerful character. So I think he may have an easier time than even Nero or Dante. Although, that being said, the doppelganger for me, having doppelganger isn't really great because doppelganger's always been a bit shit. There's another divinity statue though, so what you want to do is set yourself up to kill a Hell Judaica immediately. And I know, again, you're losing stash points, but it's worth it because fuck Hell Judaikas. They are the worst enemy in the game by a large margin. I'd say way worse than anything else in this game. There's enemies that run away, but then there's this piece of shit enemy that just all it does is run away. So don't do what I've done and stick Overture on first because it's a waste of an arm. Just stick Ragtime on. But I'm gonna skip the next fight because this fight won't build you enough points and it's not worth it. I'm already on my way to succeeding. If you're low, maybe doing these missions might help you. Doing these extra fights may help you, but I would advise against it. I'd advise if you don't have the points by now, just restart. Try and get over 5,000. Just try your best. Yes, Virgil certainly seems like a very interesting character and a very powerful character, but Doppelganger is probably the worst fucking change they could have made. So essentially, your Ragtime. Unfortunately, the Judaica has teleported, so he won't come out of his teleportation fucking hidey hole. But he does, so what I'm going to do is Devil Trigger and it knocks him into the air. I grab him with a Buster Arm. And watch as it kills him instantly. Now, unfortunately, it kills all the enemies around him with the blades. It kills quite a few of them, actually, and that's bad for style. I've killed the enemies too quick. Which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's a bit of a mob up here, but I'll keep talking about Virgil anyway, because I'm pretty excited to see what he's like, but Doppelganger's bad, and I don't... And his SDT's good, don't get me wrong, but just the way it activates isn't really... Just compared to his time, I really would have preferred him to have a regular Devil Trigger and then an SDT for. So, but that's just me, because I think the Doppelganger is probably one of the shittest fucking things they've added to this game. Just in terms of what I was saying, because I don't see any of the high level people using Doppelganger. Because probably for a very good reason, because in DMC, Devil May Cry Virgil had a Doppelganger, and once again, nobody used it. But you kind of had to if you wanted max damage, because that's all Virgil had, because the Devil Triggers in that game, were fucking god awful. Dante's one was alright, but Virgil's one was bad. Was very bad. Which is very unfortunate. And I don't think I'm gonna ever have like such an amazing moment in my S rank guide where I'm like, oh fuck, but then the Doppelganger can do this and it's amazing. I think all I'm gonna do is bitch at the Doppelganger because it's all Virgil has as a regular Devil Trigger. I know people say, oh, just use his SDT form then, but in his SDT, you need to fully charge an SDT bar. You use DT. So it's not as, what would you call it, it's not as handy as having just a bar of DT like Nero has right now, and activating it. Or like Dante's regular Devil Trigger, which saves your ass. Virgil's SDT is much more limited, although you can exit it at any time, which is very good, but I believe you need a full bar of it to go back in it. Now I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But even then, just holding a button to activate Devil Trigger to me is just a bit, you know, not my cup of tea at all. If there's a way to disable fucking Doppelganger from ever coming out, I will do it because I don't like Doppelganger. But anyway, for the upcoming boss fight, that's enough of a tirade on the poor Doppelganger that Virgil unfortunately has. For this boss fight coming up, I recommend Overture, Ragtime, and then the Buster Arm, and then followed by Ragtime, Overture, and Buster Arm. Now the reason I take Overture first is I like to stun the boss, and stunning this boss is pretty easy. Charge your gun, shoot a shot, and then this is a teleportation move. It doesn't really hit you if you just straight to the left and jump. And what he'll do is he'll do like a big belly flop, a big chicken, and he'll miss. There's an overture. Now, a great thing about this is I wouldn't recommend activating your DT while you're moving, because if you get beside this guy, it can actually help stun him. The activation can help stun this guy. And I stunned this guy not once, not twice, but 3 times in this fight. Although near the end it does get a bit antsy, and I'll certainly comment on that when it arrives. He's empowered now. And this guy will hit like a bruiser. This guy is a tank when he hits. He will hurt you so bad. But Overture goes through, and I stun this guy. I'm a charging ragtime. Activate it. Showdown. I'm gonna do some shadow punches with Devilbringer and also spam the swords. And look at that. Great style, great damage, and then grab him with the Buster Arm just to finish it off. This is a great fight, by the way. If you don't, I really enjoy this fight. Probably one of the best boss fights in the game, in my opinion. It's a bit simple compared to the rest. Although I suppose you could say Virgil's simple enough because he's just his Devil May Cry 3 counterpart. But a great fight anyway. But do not get hit. And I would say if you can afford to, get extremely aggressive. See what I'm doing? Sticking on the boss, not letting him have a moment, don't let him charge you. Because his charge, he knows just how to delay it to hit you constantly. You know what I mean? Like you always delay it by that small amount to hit you. But again, once again, watch this. I stun this guy again. Activate DT. The missiles here can be a bit tricky to dodge, but he doesn't do them that often, so you should be alright. The charge shot stuns this guy. I don't think I get to go into... Yeah, I mess up my ride time there, so I don't get to go into Showdown. What I'm going to do then is just ragtime, stick Overture on him. Do a few exceeded moves, you know. Keep it simple. Grab him again with a Buster Arm. I could have taken my time there a bit more, but it didn't. And also, and one more time, I stun this guy one more time in this boss fight. But unfortunately, I'm out of Buster Arms, so the damage is going to be heavily reduced. And it's just double triggered now, so watch the damage I don't do anymore because of the resistance they get. And this right now is a free hit. I actually managed to stun this guy on Dante Must Die, which is very hard to do. So, but what I do is I ragtime, I charge the gun, and I also stick Overture on her. I double trigger activate, stick that on her, and then wheel on her a bit, and then shoot her. She comes out of it stunned. So that is the best possible way I say you could stun the boss. Get your charge set up, Overture, break it on her, and then hit a few exceeds, and then charge shot her again. That's really the only way I managed to figure out how to do it anyway. But now this is a pretty hurry-y situation we've got ourselves into. And it could go bad real fast. It doesn't, but it can. Because right now I have no Devil Arms. And I have very little Devil Trigger. But I know this boss won't do anything too bad as long as I stick close to it. In fact, to kill it right now, I think. But yeah, this boss is more dangerous when it's away from you. And there we are. And that should be the S rank. Well, it definitely is the S rank because I already recorded this, so I know. But yeah, guys, that's the S rank, and I wish you guys good luck. So take care, guys, and I'll talk to you guys next time.